Olá, pessoal. Hoje é dia 17 de junho de 2025, são 11 horas e 41 minutos, aqui horário de Brasília, 17 horas e 42 minutos, lá na Arábia Saudita, e a gente vem aqui para mais um webinar do TBA. Mas sem mais delongas, deixa eu passar aqui a palavra para Sandra Sinico, quem vai conduzir os nossos trabalhos de hoje. Conosco, Sandra Sinico, que precisa abrir o microfone.
Achei que o meu estava aberto. Olá, a todos. Muito prazer estar com vocês e principalmente estar hospedando, tendo a oportunidade de trazer nossos tech advocates da Arábia Saudita. Eu vou mudar de idioma agora, porque vamos começar em inglês. A transcrição abaixo será em inglês. E para quem quiser fazer perguntas, pode fazer em português, que nós transmitiremos aos nossos convidados sem problema. Então, preparem suas perguntas, né? Well, thank you for your interest in joining us for one more webinar to connect different landscapes with Brazil and vice versa. I'm Sandra Sinico, and together with Henry Suzuki, we are the co-leads of Tech Brazil Advocates. Just a quick update about TBA. We are almost 1,000 advocates, and we have 110 local hubs currently mapping the Brazilian ecosystem key players, except for startups. I will start by introducing our moderator, Daniele Moraes. Daniele is a member of our board. She's an executive and scientist with extensive international experience in innovation, with a strong focus on deep tech. She's an innovation fellow at the NEON Education Research and Innovation Foundation and co-founder of N7 Ventures in Brazil. With a PhD in physics and an MBA in strategic innovation management, Daniele has a solid background in medical physics and microelectronics. She worked as a scientist at CERN, Switzerland's largest particle physics laboratory, leading technology transfer projects for industrial partners across various sectors. She was a Brazilian Academy of Science member and a strategic advisor to the Institute of Aeronautics and Space here in Brazil. She has held C-level positions in Brazil and Switzerland. Currently, she works in a venture capital, mentoring deep tech startups and serving on advisory boards. And also to talk with us, I would like to introduce Zainab Al-Hamin. She is the Tech Saudi Advocates co-leader, Vice President of Digital Transformation at Microsoft, and Sustainability Program Manager. She works with policymakers and regulators and is also a mentor at the Keyman program. We also have invited Tamar Shaker, founder, CEO, board members, MENA deal maker, and author of 11 best-selling books. Over the past 20 years, he served as a CEO across multiple companies in healthcare, consulting, and digital sectors, leading turnarounds, scaling operations, and delivering measurable value. Nowadays, he's working with business strategies and transformation at the MISAM Consulting as a board member at GAT, and in capital advisory as investment matchmaking, mainly in the healthcare industry. Before passing the word to Daniele, I would like to ask you to share your questions in Portuguese and English through the chat. For the ones that don't speak English, you can click at the button on your screen and enable closed caption to have an English transcription. So Daniele, the word is yours.
Thank you very much, Sandra. Thank you for this kind invitation. It's a pleasure to be here and to moderate this conversation with Tamer and Zainab. I think the main goal of today's webinar is to build bridges between the Brazilian and the Saudi innovation ecosystem, and also to explore potential synergy that can lead to impactful collaborations. So I've had the opportunity to engage with Saudi institutions for over 4 years now. I've been traveling there regularly since 2022. And from my own experience, I can attest that it's a remarkable country. It's been passing through a huge transformation. And this transformation, I guess, is being driven by the bold vision of the strategic direction of the Vision 2030. So the Vision 2030 has been, from my perspective, the engine of economic and social transformation for the kingdom. And maybe we'll start with this question about it. If you both could give us a brief overview of the Vision 2030, the main objectives, how it's transforming the innovation ecosystem and is impacting your areas. Don't know who.
Absolutely. Let me start then. First of all, thank you for the invitation. It's really great to be here with all of you. Apologies if there is background noise. I am in a mentorship session, and I just stepped out to do this very important meeting. And it's great to be here with all of tech advocates in Brazil. Vision 2030 aims to diversify the economy. That's the main aim, and make Saudi Arabia not oil dependent. So going away from oil dependency. That's the most important part. And part of that in the tech sector is to position Saudi Arabia as a leading in AI, regional leader in AI. And not only consumer of the technology, but actually generating the economy and the digital economy. Other parts of the Vision 2030 has to do with social and vibrant society, so focusing on arts and culture and women empowerment. And Saudi today is different from Saudi 5 years ago. When it comes to women empowerment, like 5 years ago, women were not able to drive in Saudi Arabia. Now it's not only drive, but we participate in every activity, if you will. Whenever there is a competition or competitive program, you find organically 70% of the program are women or girls in IT and in other sectors. The target of women empowerment in tech was 35% of the workforce in technology to be reached by 2030 to be women. And that target has been achieved last year. Today, 36% of the workforce are women, which is impressive. It's more than the EU, it's more than Silicon Valley. It's really impressive numbers. And we are lucky. I personally witnessed the transformation firsthand. Working as before Microsoft, I was part of Munshaat, which is Small and Medium Enterprise Authority that supports startups and the startup ecosystem and as well women empowerment. And I've seen, and it was established as part of Vision 2030. And I've seen the vision, the execution, and the alignment between the government and the private sector. When we go and meet with the people from the government, yesterday we had a meeting with the Ministry of IT. They work with us as partners. They tell us, let us know, we are at your service, use us and abuse us. This is the word that they keep telling us. And we do partner with them. So it's a very interesting time. And I will pass it to you, Thamer. I don't want to talk too much. Cover everything.
Thank you, Zainab. Thank you very much. I don't know what left to say. MashaAllah, you covered everything. But good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. I'm honored to be part of this global conversation and to present a country that is quite frankly rewriting its future at remarkable speed. As Zainab said, 5 years ago, we were in a different place. Today, with all the things that's happening, the change is taking place, we are in a different place. And I keep telling my friends and my international friends, because I spent 7 years abroad, and I have many friends from different countries, and we keep talking from time to time. especially from Brazil, by the way. I'm from Latin American, and we keep talking about the change, and I keep saying what's happening in Saudi Arabia should be, considered as a case study. People think about and see what happened within very short period. Everything changed positively, and this is something that we're all proud of, not only as what do you call it, citizens of this country, but I believe for the entire world. We're opening our doors to everyone to come and participate in this change, which is amazing. And this is the globalization, as maybe Thomas Friedman have said this long time ago, and he said in his book, "World is flat." So everything positive happen in a country, of course, it will affect other countries and the entire world. No more borders, and this is the beauty about the era that we live in today.
Yes, I would like to ask you how could you manage such a change in so short time?
You know, it depends on which generation you're coming from. If you're coming from Generation Z like me, I'm just kidding. So if you're coming from a generation that can adapt very quick, I think you will accept this, because you will always hear this criticism from people. Speed's too much. You cannot do this that fast. But again, the positivity that you are dealing with a nation that's 75% less than 30 years old. So they are very happy about what's happening, and they are now pulling the entire country to a different place. That's why when you go today to a government entities, a private sector, you can see that everyone is enthusiastic about the change. They feel that they want to be part of this. And when I ask, again, some of my international friends, I keep asking them what you see different here than other countries. They will say definitely the spirit. We can see the youth here working by their hands and believe in what they're doing. So it's part of the change that's happening. And this will take me to answer the question that Dania asked about the Vision 2030. So that's why, and this is the beauty about Vision 2030. It's not only a document. It's not a document that a consultant will build and then you'll give it to anyone. No, it's something that we live. It's culture that we have been changing for the past 5 years, and we believe it's coming from our roots for sure, no doubt about that. But taking adding our flavors to it and making sure that we are, benefiting from the strength that we have in this country, the strong roots that we have. For the past 40 years, our government used to, and still do this until today, they send our youth to get scholarship and study over the world in different universities, and they come back with full of knowledge. So again, this is the right time to implement what we have learned. So Vision 2030 basically is the constitution, is our holistic framework that we all follow to make sure that in the end of the day, every individual is doing the role to make this country in different place. And this will never happen if we are closing our doors. That's why part of the Vision 2030 is opening our doors to get all international investors to come here to work and collaborate. And again, the most important thing, one of the most important, pillar of the vision is enabling women, as Zainab said. Today, mashallah, they are women everywhere enabled, and not only enabled in certain areas, no, across all sectors. And there is no any more ceiling for their, career to grow. You can see them today almost reaching the ministry seats. So
I'm very glad you mentioned this, because the vision, I could not have a better name for the document itself, because it is a vision. Everybody's connected to this vision. When I'm there visiting Saudi Arabia, everybody knows how we can impact and make the vision really happen. So I'm very, very glad you mentioned this. And you also mentioned about, I'll come back with the woman, but just one thing before that is that the country is really open for this transformation and is attracting a lot of talents. So it had already a very well-educated population. I'm interacting there since 22, so I've seen the change. A lot of Saudis coming back to the country, but also I've noticed how the education system has changed. Like now you have really universities that are very well competitive on the world scene. You talk about at least, 4 main universities that really have impactful publication, training people, but not only Saudi, they are attracting people from the MENA region and from all over the world to study there.
Right.
So that's also how I think you are changing so fast, no?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So in Saudi, and a part of the vision execution is that we love numbers. We love to measure things. So what they say, what cannot be measured cannot be done. And it's always, what is the benchmark? Where are we? What for the universities, Daniela, you mentioned one of the elements of Vision 2030 is education, and under that there are a lot of programs, and the program for building capabilities is a national program to build the talent force. Whether it's for education or for the future skills in the workforce, and also positioning top universities through publication, through the recruitment, through research and development, and you see that is progressing very well. And now whenever we interact with the government as Microsoft, they tell us, when are you opening your R&D center in Saudi? When are you putting your innovation center here? So it's they're always pushing the bar of what else can you do to improve the local content and bring innovation locally, and do that.
Yeah, I think that's maybe the part that really contributes for this fast change and the interaction itself. So you mentioned about this strategy of becoming the ambition of becoming a regional leader on artificial intelligence. But I would say that, the plans of Saudi is to become a global leader. When you look into the programs, the data and artificial intelligence, not only the amount of capital that is being invested there, but how you're organizing on training, building really the manpower for this, doing a strategic partnership with companies, attracting innovation center for those companies to the country, and promoting this diversity in it. It's I think it also has the overall impact of this transformation, right?
That's right.
Absolutely. And also participating in the measurement on the same way of the measurement angle. Saudi is the second one globally in cybersecurity based on the World Bank ranking. It's the first in the MENA region in the investment in startups in the tech sector. So it's the highest there. And whenever you sit with any one in the government, they're like, okay, where are we, our ranking? How can we make it? How can we be the first, the top 10? And then how about the first? And this is a continuous target of how can we improve and measure that improvement and share it.
I have a question regarding the collaborations with Brazil, for example, or foreign countries. What is the policy regarding the integration and the globalization of these activities and the opportunities that maybe could rise for Brazil and Saudi?
I would say it depends on the type of the partnership that we're talking about. If we are, of course, for the past year, the new policy now, it's becoming much better than before, enabling all investors to come and have their own organizations here legally, and they can just operate. But I will mention something related to my personal experience when it comes to management consulting, dealing with different partners. It was quite easy for the past year, dealing with different entities. We didn't see any obstacles having those partners to be with us. It's a matter only of signing some documents and make sure that everyone is aware of their obligations. So this is as far as I know.
Yeah, and to add to what you mentioned, Thamer, is that a lot of work has been done to ease the entry and the investment of foreign countries businesses to Saudi Arabia. So you can easily set up an office in Saudi. You can get the support. You can get the support from the Ministry of Investment. Maybe as well get the partnership or matching with other businesses. They provide different supports and regulation relaxation for those businesses who are moving to Saudi, and for those innovative startups who want to set up an office in Saudi Arabia, in order to make sure that there is an exchange of businesses and that they are benefiting from what is happening in Saudi.
You're in mute, Danielle.
Sorry, I didn't want to make noise. There's a lot of support that the country is offering for people and companies that want to go there. But one question I have is that how did you manage to do it in such a quick way, let's say, the change in regulations internally? Because as a country, you've changed a lot to allow all this to happen.
Zainab, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. So change in regulation is not easy and wasn't quick as we would like it to be. It took some time, and it started with social reform in the regulation, revisiting regulations, for example, related to women and related to businesses. And there has been, if we take Ministry of Commerce, for example, they have a committee that has different members of other ministries that is chaired by the minister, in order to make sure that businesses are smooth and that any issue is getting tackled, and all of the relevant ministries are involved to solve it. So working hand in hand with those regulation changes and implementation challenges. Sometimes you change the regulation, but then you are faced with some implementation challenges that get raised, and it gets addressed by the top person. And there is also, you see, a close and open door policy that our ministers are required to have with the public. So the Minister of Commerce has to have an open day with the public where he meets business leaders, and they ask him questions openly, and it's recorded, and they embarrass him. That wasn't there before. Similar thing for Ministry of IT. He meets with startups and they challenge him about some regulations. So this close partnership between the government and the private sector and the open door policy actually allowed that rapid change to happen.
Yeah, just one more thing to add what Zainab mentioned. And the regular meetings and the regular or the strong bridging between ministers and the government, what do you call it, the government perspective and policies and all of these things, it's becoming now mandate to be, developed and changed by time. And every minister, I believe, and every entity in the government, they have a deadline to make sure that all the issues will be resolved within a time frame. And this is part of the Vision 2030, by the way, part of the beauty of the vision, to make sure that, and we have nice say that we keep saying it here internally, locally in the kingdom, that today the government is almost faster than the private sector in things.
Oh yeah.
Like the DNA, private sector in every place in this earth always have the the speed, have the it's all part of their character, right? But now these days, the government here is taking the role of wearing the hat of the private sector in making things efficient and fast.
Yeah, and to that point, when I was working at Munshaat, which is a semi-government entity, we were trying to set up an SME bank, a bank for small and medium businesses, and we were trying to recruit from the banking sector, of course, but it was difficult to get the right talent, because they were like, you guys work 24/7, we like our work-life balance, and that's a testament of, like, the government is really, the work there is very demanding. And you're expected literally to work 24/7. If you are working in the government, they respond fast. The heat is on. You have to answer to a lot of, write a lot of reports, respond to the public, and execute. But there is as well excitement. So people want to be part of the vision. They want to change. They see the change, and that's what excites them and make them going.
I find this is fascinating because you didn't manage to, it wasn't necessary to build an institution to make this connection. It was like just as you said, having the government running like a private sector. You have the KPIs, people are measured because you like measuring everything. So they are measured by the connections they make and how they solve the problems to foster the ecosystem and the economy. So that's
only one thing, Danielle, I want to add. I just remember this. Not to market for one of my friends or for our partner. Their name is Mukatafa. This company is a local company here, and their role is only to do one thing. The main role is to facilitate and to enable the old policy and procedure and regulation, and to make it easier for the private sector to be adopted for the government. So this is the nice thing. So this is what they've been doing for the past 4 years, and they're doing well, mashallah, financially.
Can you elaborate more, Samer? How are they doing that? Because it's very interesting, Mukatafa.
Yeah, so
how they work.
Please. I interact with them, and I'm.
You know them, right?
Yeah. Because it's a very nice company.
Yeah. So we are partners together since 2 years now. So basically, if there is any obstacles related to doing business with one of the ministers or type of one of the sectors, they will go and check the old regulation that's been in the country for 20, 30 years, and they will start modifying this and submitting the new way to adapt according to Vision 2030. And they will go to the government and try to make this happen with the full execution plan. So by that, you are enabling the private sector. And their slogan is very nice. We build a bridge between government and public and private. So this is a great example of how things are moving fast and why it's moving fast. Because it's must, it's a must.
We have a couple of questions, but if I can just make an analogy for people to understand, like with the Brazilian government, it would be like, if you're a private sector company, a startup or a big company, and want to work with the government, here would have to, make a bid that is very difficult, especially for the small and companies in the startup. And this company there acts in the favor of the application. It comes and say, okay, these are companies that can provide the service and they do have the competence and the product. But according to the current regulations, they cannot be hired for this purpose. So let's change the regulation so you make this company competitive for this bid.
100%, Danielle.
Things we don't have here.
And the three main pillars has to be connected. 3 pillars must be connected together. You need to eliminate the obstacles. Also, you need to make sure the bureaucracy is not there. Third, you need to make sure that it's safe. So you don't want to take this and then you will take part of you will make it wrong, and then the corruption will come in. So these 3 points or 3 pillars must be all connected together.
Yeah, no, it's very important. I have one question here. I don't know if you want to make a question, Sandra, if I can just make it because there is a question here on the comments that about which are the most important areas for Saudi to collaborate with Brazil. And to answer this, I also would like to ask you to answer, like, Saudi has, in addition to the vision, defined the strategic areas where you wanted to position as either a global or a regional leader. So if you can also comment on those areas and see how we could collaborate and build a collaboration between Brazil and Saudi.
Yeah.
Zainab, you want to
go? Sure, I'll share my views on this. So big part, there are some prioritized industries that Saudi has prioritized. Of course, energy and sustainability is one, and renewable energy. Manufacturing is another one. Healthcare, education, technology, and I think what else? I think those are the top industries where there is the focus areas, and then there's cross-cutting, which is technology comes cross-cutting all of those. So if you have a business that is focusing in any of those industries or enabling this or innovative solutions, then Saudi is the right place to innovate and to partner, whether it's with the public sector or the private sector. and try to even they're asking the private sector, the government is asking the private sector to come and try their innovation in some of those closed universities where they have closed campuses like KAUST, so they can pilot it there, and then it can be, developed outside. Thamer, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, of course. I would just go one step back about the mindset that we have developed for the past decade. So it's today. I will. If you ask me what's the type of mindset that we have, I will say the open, fast, and global to the world. So we're not closing in; we're opening up, and this is the nice thing about the strategy linked to the vision. Clear that we are partnering with all nations, institutions that want to shape the future, not just race or react to it. So building bridges, as Zainab said, in different sectors. I will say today with all the big projects that we're having, the mega project that's going on in the kingdom, such as Expo that we're expecting in 2030, World Cup that's coming in 2034. All these, construction development, of course, with technology. And as we mentioned this in the beginning, we are now #1 nation over the world that's spending and investing in the technology sector with all the infrastructure that we're building. So I will, going back to the next question, I will say, of course, in AI, smart cities, healthcare, fintech, and space. We're having commission today specified, especially in commission under the Ministry of Telecommunication and Technology, I believe. So we're building these accelerators in different sectors, and we believe that we're open when it comes to good companies and good entities that can offer good service in these sectors.
And sports and entertainment. This is the sector that we forgot, but this is definitely one of the focus areas. Sports, entertainment, and the culture.
Right.
Those as well.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. There is one question here that I would like to read, because it's there's a demand for, if you can share with us some materials or some links and comments on this national strategy in Saudi Arabia. We focus on innovation, digital transformation, inclusion. If there is a link that afterwards you can put on the chat where we can find this, and if you can comment on this. And I think it's an inspirational thing, because the question here, it says that in Brazil, we have tens of strategies which are completely disconnected. And that's, unfortunately, is our reality. So Saudi Arabia, it's not like that, right? You managed to connect those strategies. And how did you do this to connect those players and the policies?
The stage that was before announcing the Vision 2030 and how it was the buying in part. Your audience, so you have young leader, came to the country with very ambitious plan, and he believes in what he's doing. He communicated very well to the nation. He knows his audience. You have 70% less than 30 years old. So they're very enthusiastic about change. And he's one of them. He's the same, almost the same generation by that time. So knowing your audience, knowing your strength, I think this was one of the most valuable aspects of the why the Vision 2030 got strong, starting point. Besides that, what was happening after that, nothing was collapsing. Everything was moving as planned and even better. Today we're achieving results. The results that we're achieving is much better than the result that we thought that we're gonna achieve. In different, the outcome was really impressive. So I think these elements help a lot to make the coherence, or make the everyone believe that he's part of this, and let's do it together.
Yeah, the outcome is when you realize that the strategy is working, right? Then you keep motivating people. So you build a virtual circle.
And last thing, I will always say, if someone got lost about what we're saying, you always think about a company. When you go do transformational for a company, it's exactly the same. Of course, different size. But again, you need to understand the gap, how you can make sure that you will build the right plan for the right team, and then of course you need the right team and execution, and then you'll move on communicating every milestone to the nation of this company, which is exactly similar to a country.
I think there is a lot for us to learn
Right.
as Brazil. There is one question here for Tamer. There is, it says that the Brazilian innovation ecosystem is relatively new. So based on your experience, where should we place our focus for the ecosystem to be successful?
About football,
Of course, take into account of the size of the country. Yeah? So.
It's not about football, right? It's innovation to be
innovation, yes.
to be impactful. Yeah. So I think it's you know, activating innovation in a country is not an easy thing, but it starts with the policy, with the investment from the government, and bringing the public and public-private partnership together. We spent many years talking about public-private partnerships, which was, the word was new in Saudi, and now we are seeing it, happening. The ask to have multinational companies and other entities invest in Saudi and have an innovation center in Saudi is another thing. Investment, injecting capital in innovation, and seeing the ministers actually meeting those entrepreneurs and innovators and rewarding them is another thing that impacts the culture, but also provides the tools to do it. It's not an easy thing, but it starts. We still have a gap though when it comes of connecting the academy and the outcomes from academia and the research that they do there to the actual business. And there is a lot of work that is happening yet to be seen. The outcome of it, which is, always universities is the last, education in all of the countries is the last to change and adapt.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned this, because the incentive programs and investing is not the only thing, right? When you mentioned, especially for women empowerment, how the country has changed this. It has a lot of building on networking and mentoring, and this helps increasing the number of women as co-founder of startups and in various fields, right? If you could comment on this, I think it's
Of course. Samer, do you want to take this or do you want me to?
I will just mention that in general, because maybe this is part of my job as well. In general, changing anything, it comes without having culture change, nothing will sustain. Changing the culture or modifying the culture, making sure that the mindset understand exactly why we're doing that, it's number one factor to sustain the change and transformation when it comes to accepting empowerment for ladies or women and all the other the rest of the list as well.
Yeah. And in the case of Saudi, it came top down as well. So major changes has to come top down. It cannot come down bottom up. And that's what happened, where this is the direction, this is what we are gonna do. You guys have to, we need more women in the workforce. We need more women involved, and then it's accountability of every single organization. And then you change the culture. You put role models. You enable them. You ask how come this is only men? Where are your women? And all of that. And it takes time, but then you see it.
But one more thing, Zainab, I just the nice thing about our society, about our country, women were ready. Mashallah, we're already well educated. They have the careers, they weren't like sitting home all the time. No, they were educated. We have tons or thousands of women that were, doctors and engineers, but only the thing that they couldn't fit within the work environment because there was no opportunities there. But they were ready as characters, wearing, ready as mental, smarter than men sometimes, but again.
and I want to say a personal story to that, Thamer. Right. Thank you for bringing this up. Of course, I'm 21 forever, but in the mid 90s, I went. That's when I started my university in Saudi at King Saud University. And mid 90s in computer science. Computer science was new. A lot of people got in there, don't know what it is, and English is not I mean, a lot of women. The cohort would start with 70 women, and then you see them trickling out, leaving as every year after year because it's not for them. They don't like English. It's whatever. So around 30 people used to graduate then. And I studied the first year in Saudi, and then I went to Canada. And in Canada, the cohort was 200 people. But guess how many women were there? We were only 3.
Wow.
3 versus
Wow.
30.
Yeah.
This is mid-90s. And that was one university. And then now a lot of universities have women, and you can imagine the number of people graduating, women graduating from the universities, etc. In Saudi Arabia, we have something that we're really advantaged with, that we don't have any stereotype or cultural bias regarding women going into engineering or in STEM, in math. It's just girls and boys go to the same colleges, and actually women are doing even more than boys. Physicians, half of them are female in even in the transplants, in the surgery, etc. So it's, when it comes to education, women were everywhere. It was the one that was unlocked is the opportunities to work in the private sector, where we didn't have enough opportunities, and that's what Vision 2030 came and unlocked, and also availing those leadership positions. And this is where that's where the rapid change came. But we had the workforce ready.
Yes, this is very important because if you have the base, it's working very well, then when you open the door, everything happens. It's such
Miracles happen.
short time, yes.
Absolutely.
Just one question. I would like to understand, for example, if I have a startup in healthcare and I want to go to open in Saudi, is it worth to open in Saudi and then spread my globalization to other countries? Do you have agreements with all the countries? Can we use Saudi as a pit stop for a company to evolve, or do you think the market is more restrictive?
I believe today this is the right time. Today, what's happening today is here in Saudi Arabia. You have a strong economy. You have very stable political, status still of the among all the other countries. You are one of the world, what do you call it, the strongest 20 economy over the world. The only thing was having, or considering as a barrier 5 years ago was the regulation. Now we talk this out. So to answer your question, yes, you will be focusing, because you have a lot to do within the local business in the kingdom, because there is a lot. So this is good for any business or any startup to secure the first pipeline. The pipeline is here. If you have good quality, but again, the competition is getting tougher. It's not like before. And even for someone like me, I established my business in 2014. It's like it's like a joke compared to now. Not because the market is complicated. No, the market is really beautiful now, and they understand the value of the real knowledge that you are offering, and the real service, that the quality of service you're offering. But the competition is getting tougher. International companies are here. They can compete with you. Also, the customer has a very demanding, and they understand exactly what they're looking for. You cannot fool the client anymore. They're very smart. They know exactly what they want, and they compare, and they will argue with and debate the price if the price doesn't go with the level of the service that they are expecting.
Okay, good.
So yes, my answer, yes, you should start from not because it's my country, but because really it's all the conditions and all the circumstances that it makes business succeed and fly. It's happening here these days.
It's the largest market in the Middle East.
The largest market.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I can just add one thing, Sandra, before you continue, is that it's the largest market, but it's also maybe the unique one that has the government institutions willing to help you to get established. So that's also something that I think is an asset there.
Important. And I would like to understand better the opportunity rising up with NEOM. What is NEOM about? Can you talk a little bit more about this activity, this project, and tell us what are the opportunities for Brazilians and tech and innovation in NEOM?
Daniela, do you want to take this since you're advisor to NEOM?
Maybe I can take this. Yes, NEOM is an iconic project. I think, but to be honest, when I look to the whole Saudi Arabia and the Giga projects, it wouldn't be the first one I would pick if I wanted to interact with the country nowadays. But there are lots of opportunities for Brazilians to interact, not only for talent, because as all Giga projects there in Saudi Arabia, they're always seeking for well-formed people for talent. So there are lots of opportunities on the NEOM project itself, but also for companies. The NEOM has a huge demand for technology and really state-of-the-art technology, things that are not really real state-of-the-art. So we're talking about the quantum computing and other technologies that they are in need of. So they are open to interact with companies from Brazil. I myself, I make this bridge and I end up introducing a lot of people to the NEOM project. But if someone is willing to interact with Saudi Arabia, I would say don't narrow down to NEOM. NEOM is iconic, has a nice brand. It is a fantastic project. I'm very glad to be part of it. But there are lots of other opportunities there.
Yeah, but NEOM, the unique thing about NEOM is that it's very ambitious. It's the largest or the only city that is built with the vision to be 100% sustainable and futuristic, and it has multiple projects under it. One of them is the line, which is the iconic building, and then there are other projects which are to the sea, and Oxagon, which is focusing on manufacturing and industry and others. And as you mentioned, Daniela, we have a list of giga projects that are part of Vision 2030, and each one of them is bigger than the other in the vision and in the scale and in the what it can deliver.
Yeah, but that's why I said NEOM is iconic, because the four main projects within the NEOM, because NEOM is a region in Saudi Arabia. So they took on the northwest part a region and they named it NEOM, and it's composed by different projects there. But there are four main ones. There is the line, this vertical city. There's Oxagon, there's a floating port and an industrial city. There is a Trojena that is for tourists and entertainment. There is a ski station that, by the way, I think will host the Asian Olympic Winter Games in 2029. So it's in 4 years' time. And there is Sindala, that is also an entertainment tourist. It's a high luxury hotel. So all these four main projects are part of the NEOM. And there is demand from all sectors to interact, from entertainment to high technology. People are looking to explore and protect what is there on the deep sea, but also, you know, how do you make it sustainable tourism and cultural experience.
Right. That's why for us as Saudi, we don't see NEOM as a mega project. We see it as a national laboratory. It's
and
like
when NEOM is going to be ready for visitors?
That's a key question. I think only for the moment, only for the privileged that go there and get to visit and work there. I think it'll take.
It's still a big construction site, right?
Yes.
It's not ready yet. I was there about 2 months ago, and it's impressive. And you see construction everywhere, but it's I don't think it's the date has been announced, unless you know something else then.
Yeah, I think there are projects that are being announced, right? Like the Asian Winter Games, the World Cup, that will kind of be part there. But the date itself has been announced. It's a very ambitious and beautiful project.
Yes.
That is, so if you talk about the tech advocate, maybe just coming back to the, how can we interact more, or how can like the Saudi tech advocate could support companies wanting to interact with Saudi Arabia, or people wanting to go there and learn more about the country? Some ideas like, should we organize a mission to Saudi Arabia? It's
Sure.
should we think on building up more, strengthen this relation?
So what we did is that we started working with MISA, Ministry of Investment, and it's the one with the mission to bring investment to Saudi and to bring those foreign businesses to Saudi Arabia. And what we can do is that work with you to bring do a dedicated mission to Saudi Arabia with the support of MISA, and bring all of the different businesses. We can plan something. Definitely.
Okay.
Maybe start with virtual sessions before, and then actually do something in person. But we
Great.
said the ministry are opening doors. They actually they are the one who approached me after the launch, which is very interesting. I met one of my ex-colleagues. I mean, my colleagues who I worked with previously, and she's like, Zainab, we want to work with you. And I was like, okay, Microsoft, etc. She's like, no, the tech Saudi advocate. We want
Better.
tech Saudi advocates. We want to do the business corridors. We want to bring businesses to Saudi. How can we help? And this is what we can do. Absolutely. And we can start with Brazil.
Yeah, great. So we're approaching the final moments of this webinar. Do you have any more? You have questions to us, or you want to pose something that we forgot to detail here in our call? So if not, I give you the word to Daniele, Zainab, and Tamer.
From me, thank you so much for the time. It's really exciting to be, connecting with the other side of the world. And Brazil is a great country. It's almost a continent. And this is only the beginning. We want to strengthen the relationship. And now Danielle had just gave us a great start to work on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Tamer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say real transformation doesn't happen through hope. It happens through structure, clarity, and discipline. And that's what we are building in Saudi Arabia today. So come to us. We are nice people and we love you.
And Daniele, your final remarks?
Yes, I should maybe just say that I agree with Tamer. It is a gorgeous country. It's very nice people, beautiful people. For me, it's been completing almost 4 years interacting with Saudi Arabia. And as I said, I see a big change from 22 to 25. And unfortunately, I wasn't there before to measure, but it's such a friendly place. And it's a place where things happen. Like every time I go there and I propose a project, it's yes or no. And if it's yes, really go forward. I call it it's a binary thing, and they're really willing to make it happen. So if you find a win-win situation, then you go together and make things happen. So I'm very pleased to interact, and I'm biased. I love going there. I love the food. I love the people. And
Thank you.
And I'm a big also. I keep saying I raised the flagship of Saudi Arabia, especially to the ones like I spent 11 years in Switzerland, and people there are very conservative. So when I said to my friends, I'm going to Saudi Arabia, they were all like, what are you doing there? And I keep educating them, and even them now are willing to go and visit Saudi Arabia, because they became curious from the information I bring every time I go there.
That is good.
So thank you very much. I hope this is the first of webinar for this, the first step for this interaction with Tech Saudi.
Absolutely.
Andy?
Yeah, just ask all the audience which is still here, we have a tradition which is taking a picture at the end of our webinar. So, pessoal, queria convidar a todos, né, que estão aqui ainda presentes, né, até com uma cordialidade aí aos nossos participantes aqui internacionais, para que todo mundo que estiver por aqui puder abrir as câmeras aqui, né? A gente fazer aquele nosso tradicional registro de imagem, olha só. Okay, so it's very nice for Tamer and Zainab. So we are typical Brazilians. For example, me, I am a typical Brazilian, like a Brazilian Asian guy, and then we have fun all over the world. And this is also, we love this country too. Ok.
Gente, só enquanto vai tirando a foto, só queria dizer que se tiverem qualquer necessidade de informações sobre a Arábia Saudita, sobre oportunidades, etc., contactem a Daniele, que está no projeto Neon, trabalhando direto, fala português e é super expert nisso. A Zainab e o Tamer pode contatar a gente faz as pontes sem problema nenhum, tá bom?
TBA tá para isso mesmo, né? Bom,
Estamos
então,
aqui para colaborar.
queria pedir então uma salva de palmas, né, para nossos palestrantes aqui, né? Todo mundo.
Thank you.
É isso daí. Okay, so warm regards from Brazil. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
all.
very
Take care.
much, Tamer and Zainab.
Thank
so
you.
we
Bye
will-
bye.
we just finished
Bye.
recording.